Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Crafting Coffee with your host, Joe Mama. Okay, so if you look behind me, you can see that the look of the villager farm, the villager trading area, that soon will be the villager trading area, has changed quite a bit. And if you look behind me, you can see that we have a bit of a farm. And let's go take a look at it real quick. Okay, thanks to CountryArrow bringing to my attention to the fact that my old design wasn't going to work because of villager mechanics, we have changed things up a little bit. One of the hermits, I believe it was Impulse, had a villager breeder, which is actually a pretty nice villager breeder compared to the one we've got, but it utilized a veggie farm, which was not his design, but rather from another YouTuber whose name escapes me, but I'm going to put the link in the description, and seems to work really well with the new mechanics. But one of the disadvantages is that it requires a bell. If you check out the link, you're going to see that hey, Cat's PJs joins the game. You're going to see that the size of the farm is equivalent to, if this looks like a clover, then like a 4-leaf clover, then it was equivalent to the size of one clover leaf. So I looked at that and said, well, okay, that's fine. And then they're stackable. You could stack more farms on top of one clover leaf, one on top of another, but each clover leaf requires a bell. And bells, if you don't have a villager trading system set up, is kind of hard to come by. So, again, take a look. But now my design, I altered it a little bit, and it's still in the process of growing veggies right now. That's why I planted them, so that as we construct it, the veggies will grow, and it requires less bone meal for us to prepare it for the villagers. So what I've done is I took a look at the design and thought, well, this is great, but I think we could get increased output without having additional bells. So what I decided, I looked at the construction of it and then decided that I would try to actually have the bell as the center of 4 petals, because if you look at the design, the original design, the bell is at the very tip of one corner of basically a diamond-shaped farm. But I took a look at the construction and realized that, we could extend in all 4 directions from the bell, not just one. So that's what we're going to attempt to do. And if you check out this footage here, I've actually done 2 tests using my creative world. And so I did 2 tests to see what the output would be. Plus, I wanted to see what the behavior of the villagers would be, because I encourage you to watch the link in the description, watch that video, and it's going to give a nice tutorial on how villager mechanics work. It's about, I think, like 20-25 minutes long, so it's a little time consuming, but he gives you a timestamp where you can see the actual construction, so if you don't want the villager lesson, you can do that. Also, you're going to see that with the new villager mechanics, it opens a possibility that the villagers might interact with one another in ways we can't predict. And so I wasn't quite sure what to expect by putting 4 petals in this close proximity, because let's say in this area right here, or rather, way back here, you'd have a farmer doing his business, but then right over behind me, 3 blocks over, you'd have another farmer. Would they interact with one another? I didn't know. So that was something that I wanted to test in the test world. So we'll go ahead and roll that footage, and you will see that the test went very well. And there were 2 tests. Again, the first test was done, it was 1 hour. I just ran it for 1 hour, each test. The first test was done on a single-player server, simulating a single-player server, where you were AFK. So I wanted to see what the output would be without sleeping during the night, because in order for this to work, it counts on the villagers' work-sleep schedule, and that comes into play. Now, if you sleep through the night, obviously that makes the night disappear, and you get more day cycles during the course of an hour through which they can produce veggies. But what eventually starts to happen, I think, is that the veggies don't have time to mature, don't have quite enough time to mature, so the output for the villagers starts to drop. Okay, so the final count, you could probably do the math yourself, but I did it for you. The final count on the first test was about 1,254 potatoes, so 1,254 potatoes per hour for this 4-leaf clover design. And then that was with a full day-night cycle, no sleeping. Basically, you're AFK on a single-player server. Now, if you're on a multiplayer server, you know that there's a pretty good chance that people are going to be sleeping. If you're AFK, somebody will probably be on the server active, and they will probably sleep through the night. So what I got on the second test was 1,901 potatoes. So obviously you can see there's an increase, because as I said, there's an increase in day-night cycles, and everything's dependent on that. Also, I mean, it's not double. You would think because you slept half the time that you would get double, but it doesn't quite work that way. It's all dependent on how many cycles. It's not a steady production of potatoes. If you notice, there's one point during the day where the farmers are farming, and then all of a sudden they just go toward the bell. They go toward the villagers that are hanging out at the bell because that's what they do. That's part of their schedule, is to go hang out. Again, watch the video for a full explanation on that. But you can actually see that moment when all the villagers decide, hey, let's go hang out at the bell. So there you go. Also, this design, this facade that I've built, was pretty much dependent on the older design that I was using that's no longer valid. So now that I've decided to go with this design, it changes the footprint of the building because the little petals overhang the facade. So what I'm doing is I'm going to add these porticos on each wall, and that will it'll add some interest. It looks really cool. I like the way it comes, the way it's coming out looking. But let's take a ride. And we'll take a look at that, and I'll show you. So let's come on in, and you can see what I'm doing here. I've done one side. I haven't done the remaining 3, but I'll probably work on that off camera. But I kind of wanted to give you an idea what it looked like. So there you go, and then the wooden floor. The wood floor around the edge is going to come up to it. I'll probably put a log right here, just as a beam maybe. The floors will probably come to here, and then there'll be the staircases. I think we'll see. I'll make it up as I go, actually. But what we're going to do, I think, is we're going to add some remaining touches to this layer, and then at some point I'd like to add more layers. But you can see it takes a colossal amount of dirt to do it. So, also, we've had a visitor, and starts with K and ends in CountryArrow, who left us 4 extra bells. So now I've got 5 bells here that we can use for additional layers for this farm, and I think it's going to work out well for us. So also, I've put some glass in here. Okay, that's smooth sandstone. Plenty of that. I need some glass. I thought I'd put some glass in here at some point. Yes. Okay, we're going to need some of that because we need to build the walls. Okay, and more smooth sandstone. All right, so let's go put some walls up, and we're going to take a look at the details of this construction. Hopefully it makes sense. All right. Okay, now, fortunately, it worked out really well butting these 4 petals up together. The only place that was a little bit conflicting was the design calls for these what do you call them? Trapdoors. Yes, trapdoors. So it seemed like, well, how's it going to work if we put the saturated stair over here with water and it's enclosed by the trapdoor? What about this corner right here? Well, it turns out that the trapdoor takes up this whole block and that whole block, so the water will be trapped here as well, even though intuitively it just doesn't look that way. So in reality, it worked. It worked just fine. Same here. So it takes let's see, 32 saturated stairs around the edge, and also underneath this composter, you can't really see them, but there's sea pickles in there. 4 sea pickles under there, so there's a total of 16 sea pickles per layer. And then the glowstone that we picked up, I used, let's see, each of these petals takes up 16 blocks of glowstone. Why do I keep saying goldstone? And so therefore this whole layer takes 64 blocks of glowstone. Quite a bit. Also, I've got all the crops finally planted, so they'll be growing and get ready for our villagers. And we've got the 1 bell. Now these are going to be hollowed out, and we're going to put hoppers down in there, but I've got to make them. So let's go ahead. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add some. I'm going to get an idea of how much I'm going to need for glass. The glass is going to go like this. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so that it's going to go too high here, and it's actually going to go too high all the way around. So let's get an idea how much is it going to take to go all the way around one pedal. And here, I could do glass, but I'm not quite certain that's what I want to do. Maybe on the interior corners I will, but the exterior corners we're going to do something different. Alright, let's go back. I just love doing that. Never gets old. Of course, I need to gain some altitude, but you know. Okay, so let's go ahead and go around it just like we would in normal construction of this design. Right here, I'm actually going to leave empty because we're going to add, that's going to be part of the facade of the building. Oops. Nope. Oh, do I have silk touch? Yes, I do. Ooh, good. Don't want to waste it. All right. Okay, so it's going to take a lot of glass. All right, well, you know what? So I think what we'll do is I'm going to continue building this, and then I'm thinking maybe once we're ready to bring the villagers in, or once we get the villagers in, we'll go ahead and we'll come back at that point. How about that? All right, so I will see you guys when that happens. Okay, guys, I think we are now in a position where we can start getting the villagers up in here, and as you can see, I've already got the rails in place to do that. But let's take a look around, because you're also going to notice there's been some big changes just in this little jump cut. There's been some big changes to the building, so let's take a look. Check it out. I've got the facade basically completed, and I've got a lot of the interior work done. Pay no attention to the cobblestone there, that's all temporary, but you'll notice the roof and the porticos are added on all four sides. Now let's take a look at the interior. Hey, buddy. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Oh, why are you... Oh, fudge. Okay, that cannot be. We got to make a change. Okay, so you take a look. Now we've got the start of our catwalk around the edge, which is really, there won't be a whole lot of function to that, but we need to pull this up. I'm not sure if what he's got is a stone cutter employment, but we'll take a look at it real quick. I don't know if that's what gave him a job, but I had set that way off remotely so that that would not happen, but apparently it did. Also, I have the start of a sorting machine here. Actually, it is a sorting machine. It sorts carrots and potatoes right now, but we'll add other items later. Okay, what are you? You're a mason. Okay, it's because of that saw. We're not going to buy anything from you, thank you very much, because I want you to go back to being unemployed in Greenland. So also, I made this red shulker box to carry redstone in because I needed it for this. Let's take a look upstairs. And as you can see, like I said, I've got the floor laid down. I'm going to put fences all the way around, as well as plant flowers in the planters, and I'm going to put fences in the windows so that if a baby zombie forms somewhere, he can't make his way in here. You know what I'm saying? On the second floor. So you're going to look at this sorting machine, and it looks kind of unusual in that it has two hopper feeds. There's a reason for that. Now, let's go up and take a look. You can see this is pretty much just a repeat all the way around. All that stuff down there is temporary. It'll all get moved. So is the floor. We'll also, at some point, be adding beetroot and wheat, because that is something that you can add in this setup. Even though there's seeds, there's a slight modification you have to do to the farm, and it will function just fine without clogging with seeds. So that's really nice. And potatoes, yes, plant them. So because these two petals, these two clover leaves are loaded with potatoes, I've strung those sets of hopper feeds together into one, and that will go into one part of the... Actually, let's just get out of here. So on these two clover leaves, we've got carrots, and they will come down this hopper feed. And then they will be sorted out right here. Carrots will be sorted here, and then whatever crop we deem acceptable to plant on the same in the same vertical plane, we'll collect in this set right here. These are potatoes. And this clover leaf will be producing potatoes, and this feeds directly, basically, into this hopper feed right there. Potatoes should go directly in there, and then wheat or beetroots will go into this one, whichever we decide. But the reason I have them separated is because if we decide to stack them, the volume of potatoes and carrots and veggies in general will be so great that a single hopper feed would be clogged just trying to keep up. We don't want that. So that's why there's two feeds. I know I paid a lot in iron, but whatever. But let's see if we can get one of you guys. All right, this guy ought to become a farmer, right? But here's the thing. If he becomes a farmer, yes, which he did, we've got to figure out what he's got in his inventory. It should be potatoes. Okay. All right. Okay, this guy has so far planted nothing. I'm inclined to believe he's got nothing in his inventory, but we'll give it the night. Okay, he's planting. Awesome. What about this guy? Oh, look at that. Look at that. He's got something in his inventory. What was it? Carrots. Where did he get carrots? Oh, he must have picked it at the corner. Okay. Well, you know what? Fine. You've got carrots in your inventory. You go right ahead, and we'll just take a chance that that's all you've got. But if there's one potato in his inventory, it's over. Okay, so this takes care of our farming villagers. So now we just need to get 4 more villagers, 1 in each of these holes, and this hole right here that isn't there yet. So let's take care of that. Okay, so let's get in here. Let's shut this down, shut this up. Shut it out, shut it in. Alright, and see if we can get this guy down this hole right here. Actually, you know what? Do I have any... Oh, yes, I do. I have trapdoors. I have trapdoors. So, let's get this guy to go down this hole. There. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, that's 1. close that one. We'll leave these two open. Actually, I might as well open this up. If I can use the trapdoors, then let's just, you know, let's just do that. We'll leave that closed off so we can get the minecart over where we need to get it. Go, go. Okay, he's picking now. Come on, right in the hole, right in the hole, right in the hole. Get in the hole, get in the hole. There you go. Okay, so we got you there, then we're gonna leave that one open and close that one for now. Okay, get right there, right in that hole, so you can trade. Get right there. The farmer needs company. Get right there. Get. Okay, so you guys are done. So we're gonna leave all four, and then we'll open up that last one, and we get our buddy in. Last villager. I think I'm going to leave that setup there. That mechanism for picking villagers out of that hole, because we'll need something like that to get them set up our library, or to set up our book trading area. Okay, these guys may already be producing stuff. That would be great. Alright, we open that one up and drop you right in place. Alright, excellent. As you can see, they're already trading right here. We haven't even gotten the cleanup done, and they're already having a conversation. And that's what we want. We want these guys talking to each other. Now, as for a ceiling, I'm not going to put one just yet. I'm going to trust that anytime I'm here, there will be no lightning storm, so we don't have to worry about these guys turning into witches. That would be good. That would be really good if they didn't do that. But I don't think it's too much of a worry for us. We're never here during a storm. So let's take a look at our system here. Oh, we've got carrots, and we've got potatoes. Oh, it started, baby. Okay, why is there carrots in the overflow? That doesn't make sense. Okay, but there we are. Proof positive that this system is working. Great. Well, alright guys. I think that pretty much concludes this episode. Finally, it's taken me days to film this thing. And it's going to take me another day or so to get it edited. And then I have the next week off. But I would like to get the headshot done before I call it a week. So probably, I hope to get 2 videos released. This one and that one, probably in very close proximity. This is being filmed on the 16th, which is a Thursday, which means I hope to have it released by Friday. We'll see. Maybe Saturday. I don't know. But anyway, just wanted to give you guys a heads up what's going on. And I hope you learned a lot here. For my item sorter, you know what? There are videos out there on how to do that. I will make one at some point. A better one, a better tutorial on how to do it if you don't know how to do it already. But that's for another time. But anyway, I will see you guys later. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.